money.
What do we have to do? What?
I just knew that on the recording.
I don't know what he said.
Cash money.
Cash money, okay. Not something I need to delete. Fantastic. Alright, so what do we have to do for this guy?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. If it asks you to verify if things are inverses?
Oh, no, whoa.
So what do we do? Okay.
Oh, wait, don't we have to, like, solve H, N, and then put that answer in the F?
No. I like that, but no. Let's solve.
Would you replace the thing first?
We gotta replace something with something else. What do we need to replace?
Make it F negative 1. F.
No.
Switch the X and the Y.
Ooh, no, that is if you're solving algebraically. So directions are super important here. If you're solving for the inverse algebraically, that's when you swap X and Y. This is when you are verifying. See that word verifying? They want you to take one equation and substitute it into the other one. Okay? So what's my outer shell in this guy?
Oh, 1 plus.
Yeah, the F(x). That 1 plus.
And then you do the whole H and X.
We gotta leave a big old set of parentheses because that's where my n is. N is gonna get substituted, right? And then I got a minus 1, and it's cubed. Right? That's f of x. Or f of n in this case. Alright, and what is my inner shell?
3 over...
Do you know how to read this, guy?
3 over the square root.
This is the cube.
Oh, the cube root of...
Right? That's how you undo cubing something. And then magic happens. Are you ready for this? Look what happens. This is straight magic. Check this out. What can you do? Go ahead. Well, you can't cancel out the cubes yet, because that's only this part, but you're on the right track. You should be able to. What do you have to do first? Huh? No. Does this parenthesis out here mean anything to us? If we're just subtracting 1 from it?
No. So can we cancel out the 1?
Yeah, if I'm adding 1 and subtracting 1, what happens?
Nothing.
It goes away. Prepare yourself. Prepare your life. Prepare your life for what's about to happen.
Lightly creepy.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. So we still have this guy, right? And it's still being cubed. Okay. What happens now? Oh. What is that?
Wait, and then, oh my god, and then the 1 cancel out?
What? What just happened? N? So you are just left
With an N.
with N.
Wait.
Yeet.
That is straight magic. It also means they're inverses.
Straight
All that jumble means an N.
So basically, when you take a variable and we're subtracting 1 from it, and we're cubing it, and we're adding 1 to it, you're like wrapping it up in these layers, right? We're wrapping it up in these different layers. We're subtracting 1, we're cubing it, we're adding 1. This guy's layers undo all these guys. And we're just left with a single variable.
The 3 in the blue line, you get rid of the square root thingy.
Cube and cube root undo each other just like square and square root undo each other. They are inverses. That's what an inverse does. It undoes something else. You got it right there?
Yep.
Drop the mic.
Still gonna, get that box. I feel like you're
I
really
know.
proud of that.
I need to. It's just beautiful. This proves that yes, they are inverses. They are inverses. If you get anything besides n, they're not inverses. N squared, not inverses. N minus 1, not inverses. 3n, not inverses. Negative n, not inverses. Cool? So how about this guy? How can we set this lovely shenanigans up?
Put the G of X in.
Okay, so we're going to replace this x right here with that guy. Alright, so I've got 15 minus 10 times a whole bunch of something divided by 3, and my whole bunch of something is the x plus 1. Okay?
This isn't as magical as the last one, is it?
We can distribute, right? Nothing nicely cancels out, so we can check it out. We can distribute. What do I get when I distribute? 10x. Okay. Over 3. All right. Then what? If you remember, this is getting divided by each one. You have to, and I sometimes write it divided by each one, so you don't automatically do that.
Wait, can you
Hard instinct fight.
can you subtract 15 minus 10?
Yeah, you do 15 minus 10. Anything canceling out for us here? Anything canceling out for us here?
No.
Whole lot of no.
The answer is now.
Inverses.
Leslie knows.
You mean
Whole lot of Leslie no.
does this
Not inverses.
not inverse?
These are not inverses. These two functions.
Well, this is our test math class.
Quiz test? Yeah. What do you think we're gonna do? You're fine. So that means that f of x and g of x, not inverses of 1. Okay? Cool. Nice. Alright. Couple people were asking about
Can we do one of
these
these?
lovelies from your homework.
Yes, can we do the first one, because I got it wrong. I got the second one right, but the first one I was like...
Alright. So what do you do first?
Again.
What do you do first?
I put x equals 2 over y plus 3.
Okay. So you got a number and you got a fraction. 2 ways to approach this, and they're exactly the same thing.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, you just throw this guy over 1 and just cross multiply.
Which is 2 equals x y plus 3.
2 equals, that's not an equals at all. That's not an equals. That's not what equal looks like. Yeah! Remind me of that in a second. Alright, here's where you have to fight your instincts a little bit. What is our goal? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to do here?
Trying to get x by itself.
We're trying to get
Or y.
y by itself. So should you distribute? Is that going to help you at all? No, it's actually not. Y is already kind of hanging out lonesome, right?
Yeah.
In the midst of all this. So how can I move? You got to move things to the other side. How do I move the x to the other side?
Divide by...
You can divide by it.
Then you gotta subtract...
And then you subtract 3. So if you got 2 over x, that's not an x. It's Holly, you need more coffee today. Equals y plus 3. So if you got 2 over x minus 3, that's a possible way to write your answer. It's not that you were wrong. It's just that the other one is equivalent. Okay? So the 1, and you got to write it as f of x, right? Of course, f inverse of x. 2 over x minus 3. But what did the other one say in your homework? What did the answer in your homework say?
Minus 3x over x.
Why are these the same thing?
Because
Especially if I put an x here.
if you did something with the x.
Oh, I know.
Why?
It's hard to explain, but like, it's like it goes for both of them. Like,
What goes for both of them? You're totally right.
the negative 3.
The negative 3? No, you're totally on the right track. What are you trying to say?
Explain it. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't. Like. I don't know.
When you divide a whole thing like this by x, what does it mean?
That.
It means 2 divided by x and minus 3x divided by x. What's minus 3x divided by x?
Oh!
All this is a common denominator.
Oh!
These are the exact same answers. This one just has a common denominator. The reason I'm going to keep showing you stuff like this is sometimes if they give you an answer and you're like, well, where did that come from? You need to explain something. Cool? Yes?
No, just me.
You can write it like this. This would be fine. That would be a completely acceptable answer.
It's on the actual math part of it, though.
Of that part?
Yeah.
So we just cross-multiplied this guy, right? X times y plus 3, 2 times 1. And then I divided both sides by x to give me a 2 over x equaling this and
Oh,
subtracted
okay.
3.
So what I did wrong over here was that instead of writing y with x, is that like,
No, because I saw her the next time. I haven't like personal connection with my other boyfriend.
I started calling it that, and then I realized how I should spell it. Why when I got two x's open it.
This guy should be a y. Yep. Alright, last thing we gotta talk about from your notes is this guy. Did I make f of x or g of x? Does it not matter? Does it not matter?
I made one of them like orange or whatever. Or something like that.
So it was like, what, it was like 6.5. Give me what these guys were. This guy was 6.5, I remember. And then 4, 2.5, 2, and then it mirrored it. Alright, so we have that guy, and then we have the mirror image of it. I hate when the scale's like this. So this guy is 6. So 6.5 is here. And then we said 4, 2.5. Is that right? 2. Please take a little bit of care. Alright. So I got one person who figured out what the line is. The line of symmetry. We didn't get the equation yet, though.
Yeah.
Where would you have to fold your paper so that this guy lined up perfectly?
You gotta, I took the, first dot of the blue one and the first dot of the orange one, and I put them together and gave me one.
So yeah, this guy right here has to match up with this guy right here, right?
Did you fold it down the middle of those?
So, what would that look like? Here. What would it look like? Give me something. Come on.
It goes like that.
It would be diagonal.
Yeah, I got that.
It is a very specific equation, and it is for every single inverse. What is the equation of that line?
That's also a really good one.
When you do y equals mx plus b, what's m and what's b?
Well, m is your slope.
Okay, so what's our slope for this? 1 over 1. And what is your b? What does b stand for?
Isn't that the point where it crosses the y-axis?
Okay, so which is 0. So is it safe to say that this is y equals x?
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of make sense if inverses are where y and x swap places?
That's how you're like one.
Isn't that what an inverse is? An inverse is when you take your y and your x and you switch them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's like
Wow.
double mind blow. Okay. That is true for every single inverse ever. 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 Like ever. Like 0 exceptions to the rule. Which I don't think.
This is really good.
1 billion% of the time. You know how I like my percentages.
This is regular cheese and ham.
No, I thought it was 100,000.
You're lying to me.
6,792% of the time.
Yes.
Out of 4. Okay, so, is that cool?
That's not even
Is that cool?
that
You
fraction.
will see questions about this. Over what line do inverses occur? 5%. Because it's when y equals x.
So it will always be. Never. Ever not.
No exception.
No exceptions.
No
You're
exception.
not going to lie to us like every other.
I would never do that. Mess with you is yes, lie to you is no. This is not a messing with you situation. Good job.